notes for my August 2024 reading of a March 2024 autobiography / memoir on Michael Ramos. So the book is The After a Veteran's Notes on Coming Home by Michael Ramos. This is the University of North Carolina Press 2024 edition. Was published initially March 2024. So this is my second book I'm covering that was released in the 2024 year, and even broadly, and then narrowed in second book that I'm covering for reading it of the same year of publishing. So I'm filming this Sunday, 11 August 2024. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And I'm going to go through my book and reading notes for my August 2024 reading of an autobiography / memoir on United States of America Navy / Marines veteran Michael Ramos. This is The After a Veteran's Notes on Coming Home by Michael Ramos, March 2024. 2024, the University of North Carolina Press edition, paperback, and I'll put ISBN in the video description. I started the book on Monday, 5 August 2024, and finished the book today, before filming this, on Sunday, 11 August 2024. It's 142 pages. It took me 7 days from like start, including this day I started it, including today, the day I finished it. That was my reading spanned 7 days. And it was a public library copy that I put on hold. I found it by I clicked on the biography. There's like a subject or something like that, a tag you can click on when searching the catalog, and I clicked on that and for biography. And then I searched by most recent, so like newest published or most recently published or whatever the search is, and this one showed up, and I was like, I'll read that one. I also put on hold a biography of a golfer by a fiction writer, typically so. But that one was released in July 2024, and they're still processing getting the copies. So I put two on hold, and this is one of the two. Anything else for introduction? No, I don't think so. Okay. So let's go with book notes, including construction and design. So after this guy left the military, he went into creative writing and creative nonfiction writing specifically, which is kind of fun to read the book. The formatting is kind of very varied, so it's not one choose a format and then stick with the full book. He actually varies it. I say the thing that he kept the same was the chapter name is on the bottom, as are the page numbers. The top of the pages actually did change depending on what section it was. So there's like one where, yeah, he put the year and then the location at the top of the pages. And then for one section, he kind of started each page at the top, but then the page length varied. So it was diversified in formatting in that sense. Only book I have read and done a book / reading notes video for that has had this diversified of a formatting. Sometimes there were spaces between paragraphs, sometimes there were not. Sometimes there was punctuation, sometimes there was not. It was kind of, I would venture, I guess, trying to capture a little bit of like the thought processes and how it thinks about it and like putting it down. And then other sections would be like, you know, the response to a survey questionnaire kind of thing. And it would be repeating the same thing, but like providing like additional context to kind of get through. This was like me not having a problem, and then this was me having a little bit of a problem, right? Like, but trying to get things through, like, this matters, right? And if I just say that, people will just keep reading. So I'm going to repeat it, and I introduced varied formatting so that you can get it. So I thought that was well executed. It was some of it, like the parts without any punctuation, and the block of text would span more than one full page. Those ones, I think I came out at like over 3 minutes a page for reading. So one of the slower books for me in terms of reading. Reading notes. So it covers a variety of topics, kind of tries to provide a bit of his perspective on being in the United States of America military and what that means, and how there's nuances and just because somebody's in the military doesn't mean they're welcomed back by civilians. My uncle, so let's go, my grandpa was a sniper in the United States of American Army. My grandpa was a fighter pilot in the United States of America Navy. My granddad was a sniper in the United States of America Army, and my uncle was a cook in the United States of America Marines. So that's something that's actually missing from this book. All right, he kind of goes, either you're in the military or you're a civilian, and I was like, well, there's also people like me that grow up and there's military like generationally in the family tree, but it's not me and it's not my parents, so I'm well aware. And you know, when we go have dinners or functions with my grandparents' friends growing up, you know, they're all military and they live by the military base. And if I go visit my grandma, right, we go to the Navy base, right? So there's like a huge kind of blind spot of this author was people like me with military service in our family tree, with like and especially if we grew up around it but weren't in the military ourselves. So that was a bit of a blind spot, and that came across, but I was like, well, so then the book was not written for me, nor really written with people like me taken into mind. So just that was just something that came across. Let's see, on the com check, so it's kind of like a preface or introduction, which I didn't include in the page count. So page IX, little ix, he says he was in the Navy, assigned to the Fleet Marine Forces, and some people just say he was in the Marines. So for my video description, I'm doing United States of America Navy / Marines, because he goes on to refer to himself as a Marine, or like he served in the Marines, even though it technically was like a branch of the Navy or something like that. So I'm just gonna. It was pointed out, so I'm pointing it out here. Page 22. Oh, his entering the military was, you know, a few months to a few days before the September 11th terrorist attacks back in 2001. So 11 September 2001. And so, like, you know, he was like, he signed up, and then that happened, and he was like, can I get out of it? You know, now that we've been attacked. And I was like, no, you can't get out of it. That was page 22. Page 71 is an example of one of those tirades or rampages, or however one wants to phrase it, where it's the full page and there's no punctuation once that sentence starts, and it goes on to the next page like that. Yes. Then we have what? Page 101. It talks about watching / rewatching. So rewatch was the word. YouTube videos. So we got another book bringing up YouTube. Sounds like it was kind of used for morale boost. That is the power of YouTube. Is, well, even if one doesn't like a lot of the content being published, if the videos one does like are still there, right, they can go back and be like, well, might not be everything, but there are some stuff here I like, right? And so he learned to, you know, take the initiative and do that for himself and his mental health. Page 127, he talks about how civilians want him to kind of like, quote, move past all that PTSD stuff, unquote. So PTSD being post-traumatic stress disorder, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's great. I've been sexually assaulted multiple times, and wouldn't that be wonderful? With the catch there being, sometimes it's difficult to move past it. If the corresponding society is forgetful and it happens again, then no, we don't want to move past it, because it allows us to create a barrier between the bad thing happening again in us. Right? So sometimes, so in this book, what they told me, right, civilians just don't think things through. If they haven't experienced anything bad, they might not realize, like, you know, being in a disorder state where one is actually making like healing process might actually be a desirable over not healing and having it happen again. Right? So yes, sometimes people who haven't had bad things happen, or just haven't thought about it, even if something bad has happened, right, just aren't quite, they lack what, contextual or situational intelligence. There we go. In conclusion, it's marked full book number 34 for me for the 2024 year, and put in another check mark in the 100 to 199 page range. For biography slash autobiography, I think it's the third book in that page range that I've read this year. Link to a few related items on this channel, including my notes on autobiography slash biography playlist, book slash reading notes playlist, and Life of Wallaby Courier playlist. I would give it maybe like a 4 out of 5 stars. I think I hope I had some of the takeaways the author wanted, but some of it was just fried my little brain. So there we go. Here's a 4 out of 5 stars. So those are my notes for my August 2024 reading of a March 2024 autobiography slash memoir on Michael Ramos.